Okay.
Do you want to get rid of this?
Oh, instantly I would freak you out probably.
Just remember, look at the lens.
Yeah, see, yeah, we should get rid of it.
Okay. Okay.
I get this like pit in my stomach.
Why?
I don't know.
It's a camera.
I know. Ready? Are you ready?
We're ready.
Okay. How did we start our last last life update?
I don't know.
I don't
think
remember
you should just
freaking out like this.
start it with like a quick cut of awkward clips.
That will be easy. Okay, ready, steady.
What's happening? You need some fiber?
I think I clap every intro. We need to chop that. Don't do that. Not you, me.
Welcome to Stacy's channel. She's having a lot of trouble opening this up. Apparently she gets really embarrassed in front of me talking on camera, and I didn't fully realize that was still a thing because she's been on YouTube for a very long time.
Yeah, but you're
more
never,
consistently than me.
But you're never in the room, and now 2 times in a row you've been in the room.
It sounds like I need to be in the room every time so you can get used to it.
No. Welcome back to my channel.
Welcome.
Thanks for listening to that little intro of why I'm freaking out right now.
Just a huge cluster.
It's fine. I'll be fine. Everything is good. Welcome back. Today we are filming a Q&A. Some of the questions are couple related. Some of the questions are like personalized just for him, personalized just for me. So it's kind of a jumble of things.
Either way, we both had a Q&A to film, and some of the questions overlapped, so we figured we will just film 2 separate videos, one for her channel, one for my channel. Different questions in each video.
I had asked on my Instagram yesterday that told you guys that we were going to be doing a Q&A, asked for some questions. Yeah, I'm excited, so let's get into it.
Ooh, good idea. I'm going to ask you the questions in your video. How about that?
Okay.
And then you ask me the questions in my video. Do you care how I start or where I start?
No.
Alright, so first question is, any babies in the future, combined with another question, because they're both related to this, of how many kids are you guys planning on having? So 2-part question.
Okay.
Ready? Go.
Any babies in the future? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Oh
We're on
my
the
gosh.
same page. That's a good sign.
We talk about it enough.
Second part, how many kids do we want to have in the future? Let's say our answers at the same time because I have a feeling they're going to be the same.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
3.
Yay!
3 childers.
3 babies. Okay, not at the same time. Please, Lord, not at the same time. Not at the same time.
Oh, triplets?
No.
Dang.
Okay, yes, so yes, babies
That's how
in the
she
future.
feels about that.
Yes, babies in the future, we would like to have 3.
Yes.
We'll see. It could be 2. I'm open to 2 as well. I think we both came from 3, so I feel like that's just like our comfortable number. We like know how that works. But I will say, my sister has 2. She was blessed to have 1 of each, and she's not having any more. And their little family dynamic is phenomenal as well with the 2 kids and the 2 parents. It works really nicely.
Too.
So if we happen to have 2 and then say we're done,
I could be okay with 4 as well. Like 2 to 4, but 3 is ideal.
Okay.
Sorry.
I haven't even had 1.
But
who knows if I'll even like this process? I've been dreaming about it since I was born, but like, who knows if I'll even like this?
I think you were made for it. I think you are the kid queen. You're the baby queen.
Thank you.
Puppies, babies, and old people are everything.
My 3 favorite things.
Alright, so next question is, let's talk about butt sweat.
Oh, yay, this is for both of us.
And the reveal in your Dead Fit leggings. So in our Laguna Leggings, how is the butt sweat visibility? Let's give it a rating of 1 to 10.
So, I already answered this question a few weeks ago. It was one that was asked to me prior. And I personally don't sweat enough in the behind region to know.
You don't really sweat at all.
I do sweat, don't get me wrong. I absolutely sweat.
Barely.
But back there where you're asking about, no, I don't sweat that badly. So when it comes to seeing if you can see it in our Laguna leggings, I didn't know the answer. So I asked.
I've never seen it on her in those leggings.
Yes,
though.
and I asked anybody who owns the Laguna leggings if they do experience butt sweat, can you see it? And the response was no in the ruby or the onyx, and a little bit in the emerald. Now, I would think that the onyx would just be like foolproof because it's black, but I would say if you do sweat a lot, you might be able to see it in the ruby and the onyx because they are lighter colors. The ruby is a little bit of a darker red, so it might not be as bad, but I think you would be able to see it in the emerald.
Yeah.
So, just letting you know, hopefully that's not a make or break. Butt sweat happens. This is totally a normal thing.
I would also think that that's standard for all fabrics.
All fabrics.
When fabric gets wet, it's visible unless it's specifically a sweat wicking fabric.
Right.
And we don't use sweat wicking fabrics yet.
Right.
So, all right.
Hopefully that answers your question.
Next, this is not a question, but
Oh.
this one says, "Keep being you, girl. You are so inspiring."
Thank you, love you.
Next one is, "Have you set a wedding date?"
Yes, we have set a wedding date. We are getting married on November 17th of this year.
Yes, ma'am.
That's coming up so quick.
Is it July?
It's July tomorrow.
We have 4 months until we get married.
Oh my gosh! Whoa. Okay.
Whoa.
So, yes, we have a date, November 17th, 2019.
Boom. All right, next question is, why don't you take part in bodybuilding competitions?
This is a really good question, and it's a question that I do get asked frequently. The reason why I don't take part in bodybuilding competitions is because I don't feel it on my heart to compete. I don't just wake up and have this like drive to go step on stage that some people do, and that's totally fine.
Like me.
Like Kai, like some of my friends, like you either do or you don't. And I think it's really important to not force yourself. So if you don't feel like it's not for you, don't just do it because everybody else is doing it or because you think that your Instagram's going to grow if you go do some sort of prep series or whatever the motives are behind it. Like if you really aren't in it, like it's going to show. And so basically for me, you know, my heart doesn't say go compete. I work out every day, I track my macros, I have a coach, and I do it strictly for lifestyle because it makes me feel good. And I want to see how I can manipulate my body just for me, not for anybody else, just for me. So that's why I don't compete. I also do say it's a never say never thing because I don't want to ever say that I'll never compete. I don't know. Call me 3 years from now. I might have had a kid and be like, I want to go step on stage after my post-baby body and just show myself that I can do it. You never know. So I say never, but as of right now, I don't plan on competing.
All right, next question is, can you tell me your love story? How did you and Kyler meet? I feel like we've told this like a million times.
I feel like we have too, but we'll go ahead and give you...
It's not like any crazy, amazing story. It's very kind of generic.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and give you a quick version. Rewind to January of 2008. I was in 8th grade, Kai was in 9th grade, so we were at 2 different schools. We had the same mutual friend group, although I had no clue who he was. I was hanging out with a group of friends at one house, and then we were leaving that house and we were going to be walking to another house at the other side of the neighborhood. And in doing that, we passed by his house. One of the girls that we were with knew him and the friend that he was with.
She was with a group of all of my friends.
Yeah, but I had no clue who he was.
She was the only person I didn't know.
They were all my friends,
Yeah.
but they were also all his friends. But I had no clue who he was until that day. And then we stopped and we talked to them. I was 14, so I'm thinking stranger, danger, let's not talk to strangers, let's keep walking. But no. We didn't do that. We decided to stay and chat a while.
My friend Matt is 6'10", and he is a just giant human. He had this gigantic lifted GNC Denali truck, and so it was very intimidating to have this gigantic man in a gigantic lifted truck pull up when she's only 14 years old.
We were all around the same age, but I was nowhere at the point of life where like anybody I knew was driving, so it was also that factor of like, this guy must be so much older, he just drove up in his car.
When you're in 8th grade, that still feels very far off.
Yeah, so he drove up, got out of the car, and then my friend was like, oh, they're offering to like drive us to our friend's house, let's get in the car with them. And I'm like, let's not. But I did anyways. And, you know, I look back and it was the greatest decision of my life. And it's funny because I remember...
I thought she was super cute, so...
And I thought he was super cute too. And I remember how I gave him my number. Back in those days with our little flip phones, there were like these animated pictures that you could have on your phone.
As like a wallpaper?
As like a wallpaper. And he had this little animated bumblebee that was like licking the phone screen. And I freaked out and thought it was like the cutest thing. And I was like, please send this to me. I want this. So, in not realizing, I totally gave him my number, but I was completely innocent.
I knew what I was doing.
I was completely innocent. I wanted that bumblebee. Then he texts me, and I'm freaking out like, oh my gosh, that kid is texting me. I was supposed to have a slumber party with my friend that night. I ended up going home because I was so nervous inside, like nervous, excited, talking to this guy, my little 14-year-old self. I had my mom pick me up, bring me home, and we ended up talking the entire night.
I think we actually stayed up till like 4.
The entire night. I think I was filling my mom in on probably every text until she had to go to bed because her and I are super close. And I was just like, Mom, I don't know what to say to this kid. What do I say? What are we talking about? Yeah, that's basically how it started. Then a week later, we went on our first date to a movie theater.
It was a group date.
With a group. It was so amazing. Like, it was so cool. And yeah, the rest is history.
I'd say our love story more comes from like the years of everything else that happened, because we had like some really, really intense years and I was kind of an a-hole. I was a huge a-hole. But just to be honest, I really strongly dislike who I used to be, but who doesn't? And
we all go through it.
I put her through a lot, but that's the stuff that also ended up bonding us together, kind of just forever. And so I went off to school, and like we just always found our way back to each other no matter what. Like no matter what problem happened, no matter if we like broke up. We broke up probably like 2 or 3 times total, and they were for very, very short periods of time, but like we couldn't stay away from each other, basically. And so I think that's more of like the love story part of it, is we went through a lot together and always came back together, and through all of that stuff, she became my legitimate best friend, like for anything. Like even when we were broken up one time, my dog died, and she was the person I called to talk about it. And we hadn't been together for like months at that point. But like you were who I needed to talk to about that, so. But yeah, even when we finally like, the big like, getting back together point, there was no official like, okay, let's get back together. It was literally that you and I just enjoyed hanging out with each other so much that we were telling everyone we were just best friends. Like that I would tell people like, she's just really cool and I like hanging out with her. And we never actually set like, okay, we're back together. We just like fell back into it. All right, sorry that took so long. All right, so next question is, who has prettier eyes?
I think everyone will agree with me that you do.
False.
No.
False. I think her eyes are prettier.
Thank you. But you have eyes that look into anybody's soul.
Well, thank you.
They're beautiful.
I like looking at yours though.
Thank you.
Last question is, if you had to change one thing about the other, what would it be?
Okay, you saved the most intense one for the last one.
Awkward. No, it's actually, to be honest, there's like nothing.
The fact that I already know what he's going to say without even him saying it means that I have some stuff to work on in myself if I know the answer. But I'll still let him say it.
We all know those things, though. Like we all know we have stuff to work on ourselves.
True. Okay, then I won't feel so bad.
Do you want me to start since it's like you already know?
Sure.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So the one thing that I want to say that like I wouldn't actually change it, but I would if I could. Defensiveness and stubbornness. As humans, we naturally don't necessarily want to change because someone else told us to. So I get it, but it's still something we need to work on.
Absolutely. And like, I'm fully aware of it.
I would say every single individual person in the world should be able to look at themselves and see whether that's a part of them and understand that that's not beneficial for any relationship you have with any other person.
Yeah.
It's just something that we need to work on as individuals, all humans, just because communicating properly and calmly and working things out is really important.
It is really important, and honestly, like, the stem of all of this, it has nothing to do with him. At the end of the day, the reason I am the way that I am, or the reason why I have those tendencies, is because there's something rooted deep down in me that I haven't figured out yet, and I haven't brought to the surface to heal or, like, bring attention to. And so that's what I'm working on and trying to work on, and having him help me with, like, self-reflection, just to kind of figure out, why am I like that? Why is that my go-to kind of reaction? Because I don't want to be like this. You know, it's caused a lot of issues for us in the past 11 years, and I don't want it to continue. So hopefully we can fix this. Okay, enough about my issues. Let's talk about your issues.
Tear me apart, baby.
I'm kidding. He doesn't have any.
I do. I have plenty.
You do. I mean, we all do. You do.
You do. No, I do.
I'm kidding. But if I had to pick...
Don't be bashful. I have things I need to work on.
Absolutely, but we're
I'm the first
human.
person who will tell you that.
And we're human, and this is normal. But one thing, since we have to answer the question, I would say he is an extreme overthinker, and it can sometimes, like, just be really annoying. In the way that, like, I just see him overthinking things and, like, torturing himself for completely unnecessary things that he doesn't need to overthink, if that makes sense. Like, it has nothing to do with me. So, I guess
I don't
that's
really
kind of
overthink a lot of things with you.
I think that's kind of
We're easy.
like he
you're
doesn't.
easy for me.
But, like, just watching him overthink other things in our life can be difficult when he's, like, mentally torturing himself over something that I know could just be a straight answer or a straight whatever, and it's not in his brain.
I think it's a gift and a curse.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think it's made me extraordinarily self-aware, but at the same time, it is where majority of my anxiety and depression comes from. It's from overthinking things and being a little bit neurotic and, just beating myself up when I don't necessarily need to, but it has been the root of fast and rapid change in me and being able to be the person I am today. And if you were to look at me 5 years ago compared to now, or even 3 years ago compared to now, I'm always changing, I'm always growing, I'm always trying to grow up, I'm always trying to mature.
Better yourself.
I'm trying to better myself at all times, and I'm also always trying to, like, learn through my own stuff going on in here.
And he's always teaching me.
To be able to help other people and teach you guys, like, different stuff. So
yeah, when
I don't necessarily mind it, like, I don't necessarily think of it that way, but living with somebody who has to experience and witness that all the time can be really tough for
Yeah,
you.
so, and like you said, it can be a blessing and a curse. So obviously I wouldn't change the aspect that's a blessing, because that's a wonderful thing. I would just change the aspect that is the curse in the situations when he doesn't need to be overthinking things, but he's putting himself through hell overthinking things that aren't necessary. So that's the only...
50% is definitely unnecessary.
Yeah, and that's the part that I would change. I don't want him to change the other part that is super beneficial and incredibly helpful for his life. Obviously.
I like it.
Are we done?
I think we're done.
I think we're done.
So, just a reminder, guys, these are only half the questions. I know this was probably pretty long at this point.
Yes, sorry.
Sorry it was
Hope
so
you
long.
enjoyed it.
But these are only half the questions. We're going to answer the other half the questions on my channel. They will be more directed at me or us.
Yes.
There won't be any directed straight at her on my channel.
Yes.
So if you want to see that video, see the rest of the questions, go ahead and head over to my channel, which is linked down in her description.
Or I'll put it right here.
There you go.
So thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video one of these. Also, make sure you subscribe and don't forget to hit the little bell. I do post a video every Monday, so you don't want to miss out on that. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank
Bye.
you guys. All right, so I know we already finished filming, but we got asked a few more questions, so just before we close this out, I kind of wanted to include those and figured we could just kind of handhold and film each other answering. So we've got one question for your channel and one for mine. Mm-hmm. All right. So the question for your channel is going to be for both of us, and the question is, what do you guys love most about each other?
That's hard. Is it okay to say I love everything?
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's hard because you don't love anything.
Yes, that's why I'm marrying you. I love nothing. If I could pick a few things. He's sensitive, which...
Don't tell them that.
Not a lot of guys are.
I'm kidding. You can tell them that.
Or maybe they are and they just don't like to show it, but...
I think most guys are afraid to be vulnerable.
Yes, and he wasn't, when we were younger, he wasn't very sensitive, and he was very, like, macho, like, try to be tough all the time. And I don't know if it's just, like, the longer we've been together or just with age. He is very sensitive, and it's really sweet. He's empathetic.
I cried while we were watching a movie the other night.
It was amazing.
She's never seen me cry watching a movie before.
He's told me, like, that he's done it.
If it's related to like serious relationships, it makes me very emotional.
It was really cute.
About us, you know.
He's sensitive. He's empathetic. He's intelligent. He is incredibly intelligent. Like, I'll just have questions about random things, and he'll know the answers, which I love, because I know in the future my kids are gonna be like every other kid and go, why? Because that's what kids do. I might not have the answers for everything. I'll just be that parent that's like, because I said so. And Kai will come back at them with like this like scientific answer, which is so cool because he'll teach them stuff.
I'll give them
and
the psychological analysis.
Which is amazing.
But I can't help myself.
Because as all growing up, I did that same thing to my dad, and my dad is the type too that has the answers for everything, and like it was so cool. I could just ask him like, Dad, when did this happen? And he'd be like, oh, this year. And I know Kai's dad was the same for him too.
Oh yeah, my dad literally knows everything.
Walking encyclopedia.
Uh-huh.
So Kai is like that too.
A Jeopardy record holder.
Yeah. So I love that. I love a lot of things.
You're
but I think those are my top.
You're a sweetheart.
Thank you.
All right, my turn. All right, so there's one very, very easy answer to this for me. And I think anyone in her family or any close friends can vouch for it too, or they would have the same answer. Stace has literally the sweetest heart of anyone I know. She just has like such a deep, empathetic soul, and she feels your emotion with you, and she'll get emotionally invested in your things, everyone around her. Like, she cares so much about people, and just her heart is such a giving heart, and it's such just a sweet natured heart, and she will make you feel, she makes everyone feel loved and appreciated and cared about around her, and it's literally one of the greatest character traits anybody could have, in my opinion. And it's actually what drew me to her, and it's also what draws me to other people as friends, is when you can feel their genuine, sweet-natured heart. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right.
We'll see you in the next video.
Yeah. Sorry to add something onto the end of the video, but we didn't want to leave good couple questions unanswered.
Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.